My mentor has impacted my life by always being there for me and listening for what I have to say. He is always a figure to look up to and respect. He is a figure to celebrate the fact that you have him by your side. For that, I thank you, Mr. Washington.
Before I met my mentor, I was irrevocable and foolish, but now I am more intuitive, open-minded, and kind-hearted. She taught me to push aside the negative and bring forth the positive. She made me realize that all the impossibilities in my life can be changed into possibilities.
Mrs. Honeycutt has always welcomed me into her classroom with open arms. Not only do I take refuge in her room every morning to get work done, but I also count on her optimistic demeanor to lighten my mood when I'm down.
My mentor has impacted my life in so many ways. Ms. Jerry is always there when I need her. Right now that I'm going through a really tough time, she has been there since day one of the mentoring program.
My mentor impacted my life by being a father figure to me. Mr. Austin took me under his wing 9th grade year and hasn't turned back since. He's always there when I need him. He has my best interest in mind. He's never steered me wrong.
I grew up in New York City. I didn't have the best childhood. I would try to think about my future, but my brother dying and me being just like him when I grow up would always pop up in my mind. I would think I would die, but since my mentor had been talking to me, I have a dream, a future, something to live for now.
My mentor is not your typical mentor. She became a parent figure. She placed a lot of discipline and faith in my life. Even though she is not my mother, she's supporting me like one.
She does everything in her power to make sure she's here on Wednesdays to check in on me. We eat lunch together in the cafeteria where we can have more privacy to talk about situations going on in my life. She tells me what to do better with myself. Even though she couldn't make it to the Washington, D.C. field trip with me, she still came to school to make sure I was okay before the bus pulled off.
Mr. Austin has made a difference in my life by just being there in general. I don't have a father figure at home, so I look up to Mr. Austin. He is a very good example of how to be a man. He doesn't let his past affect him. He does what he has to do to provide for his family. I want to be just like him when I get older.
There was one really rough morning in which I wanted to leave as soon as I got to school. I walked into Mrs. Honeycutt's classroom and sat quietly. She turned to me and asked, "Have you heard that song from Despicable Me 2, the one about being happy?" She went on to explain how she and her daughter were jamming out to it in the car on the way to school, and she can't help but to sing and dance when she hears it. I told her I had not heard it before. She immediately plugged in her phone, pulled up the song, and turned up the volume. As the song started playing, she sang and danced with no shame whatsoever. Just thinking about that morning makes me smile.
As I walked the halls of Glenelg High School for the first time, I did not know what to expect. But after meeting Mr. Washington, a great deal of things have changed. Everything from how I dress to how I act. He has showed me who should be valued and who should be overlooked. That's what difference he has made in my life.
Being that I got my life together, thanks to my mentor, my life is different. Now that I got my mentor, I know the way I want to go in life.
He's above the standard. He goes above and beyond for this program. He isn't one to complain when things don't go his way. He just simply gets them done.
I will say my mentor is one of a kind. She has become a very important part of my life. I cannot imagine any other mentor for myself. Even after Ladies of Brooklyn, I still want her close. Thank you so much, Miss Johanna.